Good afternoon and welcome to the Emerging Tech series of the Leadership and Insurance podcast. This is the podcast where we speak to technology executives, founders and leaders from the world of insurance and insurtech. And today I'm very lucky to be joined by Eyal, VP of Engineering of Atidot. Eyal, how are you doing? Welcome.
Great. Thank you for having me. I'm Eyal, and it's like I'm in Tel Aviv, and it's like 2 p.m. right now.
Yeah. And how's the weather over there? Is it sandstorms or is it hot? What's it like? How are you coping over there?
Well, it's pretty hot. Yeah, it's like 100 degrees. Yeah.
Nice. Not great for me. I'd have the factor 50 on being a redhead, but yeah, it's getting quite hot here. We've had probably the wettest summer that we've had in the UK. Quite surprising with global warming. It usually goes the other way, but anyway, it's great to have you on, and it's great to be able to do this with you. And I think, as we always like to start, Eyal, it'd be great if you could introduce yourself. A bit about your career background, how you got so involved with AI, and how you ended up in the world of insurtech.
Yeah, so I'm 47, and there's a lot of in my history. So I will try to be very quick here. So I'm like 25 years in the industry. In the high-tech industry, working with in the beginning on the corporate companies as HP, everyone very familiar with, and after that I was joining a couple of different startups companies, mostly working in a B2C and a B2B. One of my biggest successes is that one of my previous startups where I was joining as a VP of engineering, it's a company called RedKicks, and actually we've been acquired by Facebook. So Facebook's actually acquired us. We've been making a DD with Facebook. Then I'm working for 3 months, doing all the migration from this company from RedKicks to Facebook, and actually that was very interesting and very great experience. After that, I was involving in another startups in the travel industry. And then about 3 years ago, I was landing in the insurtech industry, which is very, very fascinating, with a lot of interest, technologies, and a lot of challenges in the industry. And I'm very happy to be actually here.
Fantastic, thank you. Yeah, quite a journey. And I guess just joining very recently, well, not recently, in the last few years with Atidot, just for the listeners, could you give a brief introduction as to who Atidot is and what the mission is?
Yeah. So Atidot is a technology company that we are offering a platform that is powered by artificial intelligence, and it's tailored for the life insurance industry specifically. Our SaaS platform is delivers data-driven insights and empowering insurers to refine their business strategies, to accelerate the growth, and to boost overall profitability. And how we do it is actually, in a nutshell, is that we're analyzing a vast amount of data. Atidot solution can provide insurance with insight about the policyholder behavior, lapse prediction, potential upsells or cross-sells, and other essential metrics that will affect the decision-making in the life insurance business.
Nice, thank you. And we actually had, because you've been with Atidot now for probably, when you joined, we just got Atidot on the original series of the Leadership and Insurance podcast with Alex, which focuses very much on the insurance side of things. And of course, we touch on that as well. But the bringing you on here as the VP of Engineering to talk about the tech part of insurtech, I thought it would be nice to have a little recap and just catch up on what's happened in Atidot over the past few years. You've grown, hit lots of milestones, and the market has changed quite significantly. So just wanted to maybe get a quick summary of how the last couple of years have been for you in the business personally.
Yeah, sure. So I will try to speak about the last 3 years, actually, when I've been joining Atidot. So in those last 3 years, we are concentrating on developing a premier AI SaaS platform for life insurance carriers. We are continuously enhancing the platform with new features which are tailored by clients' requests and client needs. We are listening very carefully to the market and understanding the new needs and the change in the market environment. So we know how to proact to those changes in the market and bringing new approaches and new features into our platform. And as more clients adopting the Atidot platform, we are exposure to a growing amount of policies, like exponential growth in the number of policies that we are actually the Atidot platform is seeing. So to date, we have analyzed about more than 40 million policies. Using the vast data set, our models have been honored to provide even more accurate prediction regarding the policyholder behavior.
Nice. So it's been, and then when you look at how the landscape has changed, particularly from just generally the market going a bit crazy in the last couple of years, and then your product and that kind of purchasing life policy, or not purchasing, but servicing that life insurance aspect, you utilize a lot of AI and within the technology, it's very data driven. I'd imagine it's been a very exciting 18 to 24 months particularly.
Yeah, so in the last, I think, couple of years, carriers are much more willing to share their data. Of course, non-PII data, but they are willing to share some more data. So when we are getting much more data, it's very fascinating and very exciting from technology perspective, because we can improve our models and build numerous changes in our models to provide much better results and much better accuracy, using different algorithms with our models, and actually doing some great stuff that actually provides insight to the clients. Yeah.
And the life policy space, is not in the same position. You and I spoke months ago about this, and the needs are ever changing. The coverage is changing. The problem is I think, and I think you agree, is that the problem is that the carriers are only focusing on net new business. There's no retention with preference to obtaining new leads. And I think you're, the crux of your technology, your platform, the idea is less focused on that, and it's more about optimizing the existing customer base that you have. So you recently released your advanced AI platform as a response to that growing need, of optimized, more intelligent solutions within life insurance. What are the specific challenges for you or pain points in the life insurance industry that should be addressed and that Atidot's platform is addressing?
Yeah, so the life insurance industry overall is undergoing a significant transformation, okay? Which is driven by, customer expectation, rapidly changing, advancement in technologies, personalized approach, and the probability of shifting in competitive landscape in the insurance industry drives a new insight for Atidot as a company to bring new approaches in AI and drive different idea and different challenges that we're trying to achieve. So all of this, and including in the last 6 or 8 months since the interest rates is being changing in the overall in the world market, there is a huge change of behavior of clients. I mean, on the annuities, for example, in the annuities market, there's a huge changing and a lot of prediction and a lot of observability that those policyholders are surrendering very on a lot of people are surrendering very much. And with that being said, there's a lot of carriers that actually seeing this change in the financial market and think, okay, how we can address this and how can we solve this problem. And one of Atidot's biggest power is that actually with our AI models, we are predicting the current policyholder behavior. By doing this, we can predict who is gonna surrender or who is gonna lapse in the next X months or in the next quarter. With that prediction, we can actually work with the carrier to provide better user journey to try to retain this customer and to try to improve the probability of the company.
And do you think that I'm just always wonder why in life insurance it's always about net new business constantly? Why is it not about optimizing the data that we have to tap into that that database of customers and just general data that we've built up over years and years and years? Do you think comparison sites are to blame for that obsession with new customer acquisition?
I wouldn't say it for sure, but I know that most of the carriers are much more focusing on like bringing new business other than retain the current book of business. So there's a lot of efforts in bringing new business to the carrier and bringing new clients and new policies, but eventually there's a big amount of policy holders or there are orphan holders which are not handled correctly. And one of our main mission in Atidot is actually to expose this barrier and try to solve this.
And I think in terms of how you leverage the algorithms, how you ensure, how does it ensure full transparency, less bias, explainability in the decision-making process when it comes to that, or those important life insurance determinations or augmentations? How do you guys ensure that you maintain that?
Yeah, so there's a big issue, a big subject about fairness and bias in AI models, and handling bias and fairness in AI models is imperative to ensure the ethical and equitable outcomes of the models. How do we in Atidot are addressing this is that, first of all, we are having like an ethical guidelines and training for our data science team to ensure that the teams are working, well educated about the models, about ethical consideration, about all this stuff. Another thing is that, on the data analysis phase, on the pre-processing, we are giving a lot of attention to the pre-processing. Feature selection, you're selecting like a fair features, fairness metrics, the process of correcting the elimination of algorithms. And we have like a regular audits that we're doing on our models to try to tackle the biasing and the fairness in the AI models.
And is that an ongoing challenge, do you think, to continue to ensure that bias keeps up with it, fraudulent activity or some element of hacking into data, etc.? Like, do you think it's just going to be an ongoing, ever-changing challenge, or is it something that you feel that you can just get a handle on and it can be maintainable?
So it's an ongoing task, like it's an ongoing or every day that we are addressing fairness when we are improving our models, when we are getting a new data sets, when we are working with the new clients. So there's an ongoing work on the fairness and the biasing, which is it's like a part of the process or part of our research and development that we are doing internally. Now, in terms of security-wise, we do have a lot of regulation on security and a lot of action that we're doing mainly with our IT team and with our data scientists to make sure that our data and our models are, from one side, are secured and everything, and from the other side are addressing the biasing and fairness in the models.
And do you think that then, just kind of going off the AI topic, do you think that trickles down to, do you think great customer insight brings more understanding? Like when you talk about the lifetime value of a customer is to care about the customer, more than just a number by insight. Do you think that it brings more understanding, your technology and what the AI, etc. is doing?
So overall, the AI is giving much more understanding for our clients about their clients or their policyholders' needs and their policyholder dreams and fulfillment and what they want to achieve. And we're helping them with our models actually to better understand their clients and to engage them in a much better way so they can continue retain them and have a better relation with those clients.
Mm. So very much allowing the humans to do the more human part of the job, which I keep hearing more and more often. And who are your kind of main customers? Is it the big, is it a combination of carriers, MGAs, or is it, who are you guys kind of helping the most? Obviously the end user being people like myself, but where's the focal points for you guys to?
So we are working mostly with the life insurance carriers, the big insurance companies, IMOs, brokers. We are not touching the end user as myself or you,
Yeah.
but working with the big carriers actually.
Which, as I say, ultimately trickles down to the experience of people like myself, and when you work with these, kind of wanted to move on to talk about the culture piece, because I think it's really interesting in your position, Eyal, as a VP of engineering. You manage up to the founders, you manage down to the engineering managers, the wider team, you cross-pollinate in the business. It's a difficult role, The team at Atidot was founded by a group of data scientists, insurance experts, life actuaries. As what for you coming into the business has been the challenges in integrating that real mix of insurance-led people within the business and technology-led people in the business in parallel, working with these large incumbents that really aren't used to the technology adoption and the pace of it?
Yeah, so if you are questioning about how we close the gap between different roles in the company, if it's actually on one side, data scientists, or even software developers. So the challenge is to understand the insurance industry or the insurance space. Speaking the same terminology, getting familiar with the products or the terminology of the super complex products in the life insurance. And the idea is, how do you leverage the knowledge or the external data or the external experience that you're having to improve those models in the life insurance industry. We found out that huge amount of the data in the insurance industry is very attractive for data scientists, and they really like working with complex products and complex problems, and try to achieve and to result with better and better results using their AI models, algorithms. So it's very challenging, and one of the most challenging in the data science team in the insurance industry is that data scientists are results oriented, and they like PhD, statistical PhD, math persons, and they are always try to get the best results out of their models, and they need to understand, or they need to close the gap between the business needs and their potential models results. So from one side, we need to deliver models and we need to deliver results. And from the other side, the data science will want to continue improve his models and improve the results. And it's like an endless ongoing work. So to close the gap between the data science needs and the company needs and the company business goals is like a little bit challenging, but we are working daily to improve it.
And what do you think's worked well for you coming in, not from an insurance background? What's worked well for you and attributed? Because I think there's one thing that I kind of theme, as an executive search consultant, I speak to lots of founders on this podcast. I'm lucky to speak to leaders, and the theme is around, attributing to that culture between an insurance business and a technology business, and creating that insure tech. What do you think's worked well for you? It seems like it's maybe formed itself quite organically because, as you say, data scientists love this part of the job, but I guess it's like in a wider sense. What do you think's worked well for you and attributed to constantly building that good culture at Atidot? And what is the kind of culture at Atidot, if you could describe it?
Yeah, so overall, the things that we see is attributing or contributing to the culture of Atidot as a company is like, first of all, foremost is like the open communication. So a data scientist can talk to the advisory consultant or can talk to the chief strategy or chief product, okay, from one side. We are always as like a continuous learning and growth approach when we are trying to bring our employees the best in the market knowledge, courses, reading books, digital books, whatever that is needs to get them more familiar and more experience in the insurance. Team building and social activities that we are doing to the team to keep them like team activities, to give them closer as a one group. Recognition and rewards for achievements that our employees are doing. It's a great contribution for the culture. Feedbacks, open door approach, one-on-ones with the teams, all those giving also much more engaged for the employees to the company. And it's also like an empowering for leadership inside the company. So all the above play like a vital role in shaping the culture of Atidot and ensuring like a vibrant, engaging, and productive work environment in the Atidot company.
Interesting. And I mean, again, in the context of insurance, we again talk a lot about the challenges that face when you're aligning engineering, which is all about shipping code fastly, getting shit done, really. You know, they want to move at a nice pace. And it's just, you know, quite cumbersome, you know, working with these large insurance carriers that maybe don't like to move at that pace and, you know, doing a lot of questioning in terms of why, or, you know, how can we integrate this technology? You know, for you, how do you kind of keep the guys motivated and advise on the here and now, keeping them motivated, you know?
Yeah, so Atidot as a startup is like more on a faster pace.
Yeah.
Trying to bring much more tools and much more deliveries. And when working with, you know, giant enterprise companies, insurance, they are working much slower. So when we are having an integration with the client or we are waiting for data from the client, those things sometimes takes a little bit more time than expected. So we keep like 50% of the time when there's a free time actually to work on the new stuff, improvements to the platform, better infrastructure. So we always keep them highly motivated by providing them a lot of challenges on the day-to-day work, you know, while they're waiting for the carriers, this or the carrier that to provide data or integration or whatever that is needed.
And as a hiring manager, as a leader that is constantly, you know, maybe not in scale-up mode all the time, but always on the lookout for people. You know, I noticed that the team is predominantly, everyone is based in Tel Aviv.
So yeah. It's not exactly right, because right now we shift the approach of the company, of the R&D department a little bit different. So we decided that we want that all the data scientists and all the, you know, the IP of the company will sit in Israel. So all the data scientists are based in Tel Aviv. And we are holding a group of software developers in Ukraine. Okay, so the client side or the platform is being developed in a remote team, and all the algorithms and the models are being developed in Israel.
Right.
The daily, you know, open communication and collaboration between the Israeli team and the Ukraine team. They're working closely and daily. If it's a phone calls or Slack or emails, whatever that it needs to achieve their goals.
It's interesting because as the vice president of engineering, you're so far away from the team, but clearly that's a testament to your ability as a leader to build a very successful, multidisciplined, geographical remote team.
Yeah, it is challenging. It's actually challenging a lot, but I know we are picking a very good, very senior people that can know how to work remotely from one side, or can know how to work with a remote team from the other side. So they like, you know, they having their tasks, they know how to handle them, they know how to get the progress and to improve them. And that's the whole idea. So I don't want to be like, you know, micromanagement and day-to-day working with them. So we do have standards, we do have everything that all the companies doing, but we do know how to work remotely.
It's both from a VP of engineering and from a IC perspective, I think this question is always, I think this topic is always just interesting in terms of, what makes a great VP of engineering in your eyes? Because again, I do think it's such a challenging job when you're managing up to C-suite down to the wider team. What do you think makes for a good VP or a great VP of engineering coming into a business? And when you come in looking to hire, build a company with great people, what gets you excited? I appreciate that's two questions, but
yeah. So if I answer the first question,
yeah,
I think that the most important thing for VP engineering is, from one side, to execute and to deliver the required milestone of the product and to deliver the results to the market, and to bring a good product. And from the other side, to communicate between the business unit and the R&D unit to try to tackle there's a big gap between those two units. And, we need to find the balance about, from one side, the business dreams, and from other, the actual R&D possibilities. So we try to balance this. That's what we are doing. Now, I don't remember your second question.
Well, what is someone coming in, your job, as you say, is to execute, is to work with the founders on the tech strategy, is to find good people. Again, it's something that I think is valuable to, there's a lot wrong with hiring in tech at the moment, I think, and I think it's very broken right now. And engineers, I speak to engineers that have joined businesses and they've been fired after 2 months, because it's not working out. But it starts at the hiring process, and I just think it's very beneficial because we do attract a lot of technology-led people, not just leaders in this podcast now, more individual contributors. What gets Eyal excited when you look at a profile? For example, for me, something that I really don't enjoy seeing is someone that I would refer to as too jumpy or hopping around too much between jobs. What gets you excited and I appreciate it's quite surface level, but just kind of keen to get your insight on that.
You mean on the hiring process?
On the hiring process, on what gets you excited from when you're looking at people, reviewing profiles, when you're lining up interviews, what excites you about engineers or talent,
So I do like in engineers, or when I'm reading a profile or CVs, that are having a vast experience in different fields. So I know they are, not jumping every 2 months or every 1 year, but still having vast experience in a couple of different fields. This is raising me a question about what's their interest. I mean, someone that worked 10 years in the gaming industry or 10 years in the insurance industry, it's one thing. But if someone was working 3 years in the gaming and then he moved to 3 years in the fintech industry, so we have more variety of experience and more, he sees much more different solutions, and it's much more attractive when I'm seeing some CVs like this.
And I think, for me, again, something that probably is exciting, and again, that I guess engineers should be more thoughtful of, is in terms of what they can show, what they've created in those industries, if possible, from GitHub accounts to, things that would actually potentially get you, who sees hundreds of engineering profiles, it's just about trying to stand out, because as I say, I do feel like it's a very difficult market for engineering talent at the moment.
Yeah, so you're right. The market now is very challenging. There's a lot of profile in the market that's looking for a job, a lot for a position, and there's not enough position at the moment. So attractive-wise, I would say that, the bottom line, as much as technologies that you play with and as much as experience you have from a different approach or different industries, is much more attractive in the market right now. And also people that are coming from well-known companies. So, you know, when you're reading a CV from someone that worked with Google or, I don't know, on Monday.com, so it's much more interesting than someone that work in a companies that you don't even know what the company about.
Yeah. And you think that's more, you think that the less brandings and logos, you think that's becoming a thing of the past now and it's more about the detail?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say, yeah.
Yeah. And look, kind of final question, I'm conscious of your time as well, but going back to your role as a VP of engineering, when you come in, you know, how do you advise the founders when it comes to that aspect of, I need you to build me a great team of great people that are mission driven and that understand what we're doing? You know, as a VP of engineering, do you advise on hiring for the here and now, or do you advise on hiring for the future, or both? Like, what's your kind of thinking there?
I think that both, actually, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for Atidot, it's very much about the here and now, given the stage that you guys are at, being, you know, minus 50 or so, I believe that is. How big is the business at the moment?
Yeah, we are overall around 50.
Yeah.
50% is in Israel, which is the R&D and the marketing and the HR in Israel, as well as we have in Ukraine a part of the R&D team. And in the US, we have all the C-level, the management, the CEO of the company, Dror, is based in Palo Alto. We have the product, the advisory chief strategy and business development over there, and also the salespersons and the SDRs.
Mm. Yeah, no, it's again, it's just something that I think I get asked a lot from other vice president of engineering, directors of engineering, you know, how to advise founders, you know, what is the best way to do that? Is it about the here and now? Is it about the future, or does it really just depend on the stage of the company, you know?
It depends on the stage of the company. So on the day-to-day job, we are focusing on here and now, but we do have, like, you know, a weekly or monthly meetings about the future, about what's the milestone and what we're going to achieve on the next quarter or the next year. But, you know, the daily meetings, and we have a lot of meetings with the US people, although it's like a big, you know, time zone differences, we do speak about the here and now.
Amazing. Look, Atidot, yeah, I'm conscious of your time. I'm sure you've got plenty to be continuing to do at Atidot, and I just wanted to thank you for your time. It's been super interesting to have you on, and I'm sure lots of great takeaways for those that listen.
Thank you, Gavin, so much for me and from the Atidot team.